All right, folks, welcome to lesson number 3 for the Millington, Tennessee Library's Dewey Decibels ukulele group. And today we're going to talk to you about purchasing a ukulele and some of the things you might want to consider if you're purchasing a ukulele. Now, we have plenty of soprano ukuleles at the library to loan out for lessons, but if you're wanting to purchase a ukulele, keep these things in mind. The first thing is all our loaners are sopranos. Those are typically going to be your cheaper ukuleles, although you can certainly spend a lot on a soprano. But they're often more colorful. They have kids' designs on them. I typically see these starting at about $20, $22, up to $30, $40 for your typical starter soprano ukulele. Again, these are often have very vivid colors. Flowers painted on them, different designs, tie-dye, whatever, and lots of times they even come with a cloth carrying case, a felt pick, maybe even a tuner, and normally a strap. So those can be real good packages to pick up, especially if you're not sure you're going to stick with the ukulele forever. The investment and cost is not too high. Now, the sopranos, they're shorter, which means that there's not as much space in between the frets. So if you have really fat fingers like I do, they might not be the best choice for you, although there are plenty of big guys that play soprano ukulele. So it doesn't mean it's impossible. The next thing to consider when buying and purchasing a ukulele is what size you want. We talked in earlier lessons about soprano, concert, tenor ukuleles, even baritone ukuleles and bass ukuleles. And as you go up in size, your tone is going to get a little bit more mellower. It's a longer string, so it's going to be a little less crisp in sound. Your sopranos are typically going to be a little bit more tinny, a little crisper sound. And as you go up in size, you're going to get a little bit mellower sound. The other thing to consider is, are you going to be playing by yourself or in a group? I like to play the 6 and the 8 string ukuleles a lot because they give you a much fuller sound because of the extra strings. So that might be something to consider. Price is a big consideration. You can again find soprano ukuleles, easily within that $30 price range. As you start going into concert, and certainly tenor ukuleles, you're going to start getting a little bit pricier. And it's not unusual to spend $100 to $150 for a halfway decent made ukulele. And you can certainly spend several hundred to even thousands of dollars on a real quality instrument. Now, I don't necessarily recommend going out and buying a $300 ukulele to take to your local camp out or your ukulele jam. I mean, it might get beat around a little bit, you could get lost, it could get stolen, it could get rained on, lots of stuff like that. So I certainly recommend a good $100, $150 ukulele if you get serious about it, that you're not going to be totally distraught and devastated financially if something happens to it when you're out and about. So I think that's a good price point to aim at. The other thing to consider is if you are going out and about, these plastic ukuleles are wonderful. They sound great. They have a decent volume to them, and they can get rained on a little bit at the camp out, and it's no big deal. They also hold up to temperature a lot better, and humidity changes a lot better. Your typical wooden ukulele, you don't want to have it going through temperature extremes or humidity extremes because it doesn't do the wood and the glue any favors. So these plastic ones are another consideration when you're buying a ukulele. The other thing to consider is the craftsmanship of the ukulele. If you buy a ukulele, there's a couple things that you want to look for right off the bat. One is the tuners, okay? Does it have sealed tuners like this where you can't see any gears? Or does it have tuners like this where the gears are exposed? Typically, exposed gears are a sign that the quality of the ukulele is not top notch. Okay, so the other thing to consider is the feel of the ukulele, and in particular the frets. Okay, a lot of cheaper ukuleles, they put these fret wires in here, and they basically just take a pair of wire cutters and cut them off, and you can have sharp edges on the sides of your ukulele. So if you're looking at a ukulele, take and run your fingers up and down. It should feel smooth. You shouldn't feel any jagged or sharp edges. If you do, that's another sign that the quality may not be great. Now, and we've got a ukulele that we bought from Taiwan, $250 ukulele. It has those sharp things on it, but it's got a lot of pearl inlay. So they did a good job on the pearl, but not the rest of the ukulele so much. And overall, just look at the ukulele. Make sure that there's no blemishes or anything in the finish. There's typically going to be some, but you don't want a lot of it, because that's, again, just a sign that the ukulele quality is not so great. And then, of course, the other way is just look at the brand names. If you go out there on the internet, you can Google ukuleles, get lots of review videos out there, and they're going to tell you a lot about the ukulele. So if you're considering buying a particular brand, again, do a little bit of research on it, and it'll give you a good starting point. But again, make sure your frets are smooth, and make sure you got good tuners on your ukulele for sure. One other consideration is whether or not you're going to be playing gigs or whatever, and you may need a ukulele that's amplified. So this particular ukulele, it's an acoustic ukulele. Okay, it makes noise just fine by itself, but it also is an electric ukulele. See, my sound button, or my strap button down there, is actually a hole for my amplifier cord to fit in there. Okay, so it has a pickup that's inside, and then I actually have a little equalizer there where a battery goes, and I can adjust the sound of my ukulele. And so if you're going to be playing in groups and you need some amplification, look at getting you a ukulele that is either standalone, acoustic, but you can also amplify. They also have these little guys, which are basically wireless transmitters. You can plug that into your ukulele. This end plugs into your amplifier, and now you're wireless. You can go all around the room and whatever, and be amplified. So a couple different options as far as your ukulele amplification goes. And of course, there's always the electric ukulele, which we covered in a previous lesson. All right, so lastly, again, I want to kind of re-emphasize storage of your ukulele. I like storing mine on the walls and in the house where there's not a lot of temperature or humidity variations. Obviously, if you have to travel, if you put it in a case, the case actually helps protect it from extreme temperature swings and humidity swings. So get you a good hard case if you're going to be traveling. The padded cloth cases are okay if you're going short distances, and you don't have to worry about big temperature or humidity swings. But again, the environmental changes can affect your ukulele. The plastic ones aren't susceptible to that as much, but your wooden ukuleles need a little bit of care to make sure that the wood doesn't expand and shrink, and the glue doesn't dry out, and all that other kind of stuff, and you end up with problems. So I guess in closing, if you're purchasing a ukulele, consider the types, consider how you're going to store it. We also have string swings, which are these guys that can mount on a wall. And we talked about stands earlier, but this is a good way to display your ukuleles. And then also consider how you're going to move your ukulele around. If you're going to be transporting it to different places, get you a good case. If you can afford it when you purchase your ukulele, make sure your case fits. Okay, I have a Fender tenor ukulele. It does not fit in a tenor case. I have to use a baritone case for it because the headstock is a different shape. So just do a little bit of research and go out there and make a decent purchase, and be happy with it and have fun playing your ukulele.